Actually, if you're interested, the reason why we had a double lesson is because if we only had lesson 13 today, then something terrible would happen because the number 13 is dangerous, scary. Okay, so today's lesson is the lesson that we were supposed to do on Friday. So yes. Here it is, Friday 26th. Yeah, so today is the 29th. And today we're also going to do the lesson for the 29th, but right now we're going to start with the lesson for the 26th. So let's get to it. The topic for today is business. And there's different vocab associated with this. Business as a whole is a very broad topic. And sometimes you're going to get topics about like money. Sometimes you're going to get topics about the economy and things like that. But business is the broad term for all of this. So let's get to it. The first word is cold call. And this is a very specific word to do with marketing. And this is when you call somebody without asking them. Like you are just calling to sell your product. A good example of this is like if you get a topic like, what is, for speaking part 2, what is the strangest product you have ever bought or something like that? And then you start by saying, I got a cold call from a company which wanted to sell me a refrigerator. And that just means they called you and they said, hello, sir, do you need a refrigerator? So that's a cold call. That's getting called whenever you didn't ask. Like you don't want the product, you don't care about it, but you still got the call anyway. That's a cold call. Next is cutthroat competition, and cutthroat is actually, as far as I remember, written with a dash. So cutthroat competition. This comes from the word cutthroat, and cutthroat literally means like to cut someone's throat. But in the business world, it means to have very difficult competition, like very strong competition. People are really doing as much as possible to, steal each other's money and steal each other's customers, I guess. So that's called cutthroat competition. Specifically, the word cutthroat, that's what that means. Competition just means like whenever two businesses are trying their best to take each other's customers. Next is to do market research. Market research is whenever you are looking at what is already available. So for example, if you're trying to make a drink company, you're going to see what do people usually drink. Like in Uzbekistan, people usually drink tea. People drink cola. People drink this and that. And you're trying to find information about what is popular in the market, basically. Market research. Next is to draw up a business plan. And draw up a business plan. Also, there's another word, which is... I forgot. But basically, draw up a business plan means to create a business plan, to write a business plan. And mainly, we only use draw up when we're talking about a business plan. Just to keep that in mind. Next is to drum up business. And to drum up business does not literally mean to have a drum, like a doira. It means to try to get customers. So whenever you're drumming up business, business as a whole actually has two main meanings. One of them is like some kind of noun, which is like a business, which is for example, like internation as a business or whatever kind of company is a business, right? But also another meaning of the word business is people buying things or just kind of people giving money for something, right? That's called business. For example, if you go to a restaurant and they give you terrible food and then the waiters, they spit in your food and they say, get out of my restaurant, right? You're going to say, I'm taking my business elsewhere. I'm going to another place. I'm taking my business away. That means that you are not going to shop there anymore. So business has two meanings. One of them is like the noun, the place, and the other one is like the purchasing. That's called also business. Yeah. So yeah, to drum up business basically means to like create people that are buying things. Next is to earn a living. And this basically means like to try to earn money. Simple, easy, makes sense. Next is to go bust. This is whenever your business is unsuccessful and it's gone. You close everything. Next is cash flow. This is the whole process of like money that is in the business. To give you an example using all three of these words, I was trying to earn a living by running a restaurant, but I didn't calculate the cash flow and I went bust because I spent all of my money on buying cheese. So that is an example of all three of these words in one sentence. Next is to go into business with. So this basically means to start a business using or connected with somebody else. Like whenever you have a business partner, that's called to go into business with. Next is to go under, and this means it's a synonym of to go bust. Yeah, basically, you're going under the water. Under the water. Next is to have an online presence, and this is basically to have a popular social media account, or just in general a social media account. Whenever people know about you on the internet, you have a social media presence. This does not only have to be about business. This can be used, for example, for like oh my god, this can be used yes. This can be used for a YouTuber or for some kind of like popular, streamer or somebody popular. That's also called online presence. It's the same word. Yeah. Let's keep going. Next one is to launch a product. So to launch a product basically means to start a product, to make a product popular. And the word that we use for that is launch. Yeah. Sorry, this is strange. I don't get it. I really don't. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going. To lay someone off. Firing someone, synonym of fire. Yeah. I think that should be here somewhere. Probably. It's not here. But yeah, fire somebody is the same. To lay someone off. Next is lifestyle business. This is a business that I don't actually know. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to do it fire. To fire someone is a synonym of to lay someone off. Okay, next is to make a profit. Profit is the same as income. In terms of business, I mean, I'm not really a businessman, but like I can understand this because it's pretty simple. So imagine this. You are selling candy for 5,000 sums per piece of candy. $2 per piece of candy. How you actually make the candy is you need to have like sugar, you need to have this and this and this and this, and then you calculated for each piece of candy that you make, you have to spend $1. So $1 is the price of the piece of candy. $2 is the price at which you sell the piece of candy. So for each piece of candy, you make $1 profit. That profit is like how much money you earn, right? So yeah, that's what to make a profit means to earn money from some kind of investment, I guess, or just in general from your work. Yeah. Next is niche business. This comes from the word niche, which means a small market or some kind of small need, something that a very small amount of people need. For example, IELTS is a niche business. For example, IELTS is a niche market. My channel is a niche business because it's not something that everybody needs, right? For example, people in the US don't need IELTS. In the Uzbek market, it's not niche. It's very popular. But like, for example, something that is small is called niche. Yeah. Let's keep going. To raise a company profile. I don't actually think this is a good one. Let's move that. To run your own business. One moment. Okay. To run your own business basically means to have your own business, to be self-employed. I think we already talked about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's keep going. Okay. I think that's about it. We're pretty good on that. Everything is fine. Everything is simple. I think all this makes sense. Yeah, all the rest of the vocab is not that important. Do you guys want to do pronunciation? If you want to do pronunciation, please raise your hands in the chat. If you want to do pronunciation, please raise your hands in the chat. I should see like, I don't know, at least half of the people doing hands, and then we can start. Okay, I don't think that many people want to do it. So let's keep going to the next section, which is going to be, let me answer questions. Actually, here, well, before I do answer questions, let me talk a bit about today's lesson and today's main topic. And this topic is something that I recommend you to do. How would I recommend you to do it, right? I recommend you to think about this more than specifically use it like a lot, right? And the reason for why is because, I don't have any, I forgot to add the part 3 questions. Okay, the reason for why is because this is more of a method of analysis. This is how you should understand what kind of mistakes you're making and how you are like speaking, right? Yeah, what this is speaking structures. I don't usually recommend to memorize any kind of answers, but it's a very good idea to memorize how you're actually going to speak, what kind of ideas you're using. And depending on the situation, depending on what you can talk about, I would recommend to use different kinds of sentences, right? What I mean by this, more simply, is this. If you're asked a question, you have to instantly imagine. Is my question going to be specific? Am I going to talk about something from my own experience, like my own life? Or am I going to talk about more general things because I don't know anything about this? Or another question is, do I know anything about this? Do I understand the question? Do I understand the topic, right? So for example, if the question is, what kind of flowers and plants grow near where you live? There's two types of people. People that know the types of flowers. For example, near my house, there's a lot of ivy and a lot of different kinds of bushes. There's a lot of maple trees and a lot of oak trees together in the same area, which is quite rare. And in general, all these trees are covered by ivy, which looks beautiful in the night. So there's people that understand what types of flowers and plants and trees there are. And there's people that say, there are trees. Yes, I know what a tree is. I have seen a tree in my past, in my life. So those are the two types of people. And if you are from the second type, right, you don't know the names, you don't know the word rose, you don't know the word tulip, or, I know a lot of plants, one second. Lavender, you don't know the names of flowers and trees, then your answer has to be more general. And in this case, I would recommend you use, for example, a structure like this. General to specific. So for example, one answer, which is rose. So you can say, I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller so it looks more pretty. That did not work. Okay, it's fine. So you would say something like, general to specific. You would start by explaining, like, for example, I'm not sure, but I know that there are different kinds of plants. One plant that I have seen is rose, is a type of rose, and they are actually not red, they are white. Sometimes I take them and I gift them to my friends. Yeah. So you have to understand what kind of structure you're using. You have to keep in mind, like, do I know what I'm talking about or do I not know what I'm talking about? And these kinds of structures are all for different situations. Specifically, these structures are for part 3. For part 1, what I recommend you to do is to focus on two things: personal examples and explaining your opinion. All right, or I guess you could say explaining why. So here are the 5 types of sentences that I really like to focus on and that I talk about. Direct answer, which is like the main answer. Like if the question is, do you have any friends? The direct answer is, yes, I do, because da-da-da. That's the main answer. That's the direct answer. Second one is personal example. This is something from your life. This is like, I have many friends because I used to be a sportsman and I had a lot of friends from my sports classes. That's a personal example. Explain why is explaining. This can be used to explain the example. This can be used to explain the direct answer. Yeah. Next is example. So what is the difference between a personal example and an example example? A personal example is something from your own life, something about yourself. An example is something that you are using, some kind of idea that you are using to explain your idea, to explain your reason, right? To explain your direct answer. What am I saying? For example, part 3 question. Give me a moment. Okay. Somebody from the chat, please think about a part 3 question, any kind of part 3 question. Just think about it right now. If you know your part 3 question, raise your hand. Part 3 question, IELTS speaking. Part 3 question. Okay, I think Star, 18-year-old full stack developer from Tashkent. Please raise your hand if you can. Sorry, please unmute yourself if you can hear me. Please say hello. Sir with no name but a Michael Jordan picture. Looks like he's sleeping. All right, Navruz, please unmute yourself and say hi if you can hear me. Oh, yeah, what's up? So what is your part question?
I should tell you one exact one, or the one that I like to tell you to?
Ask me one part 3 question, any part 3 question that you want.
Any part 3 question, okay. What kind of art do you enjoy?
That's a part 1 question.
It is part 3 actually.
Part 1 questions are questions that are asked specifically about you. Part 3 questions are never going to focus on you. A question like, what kind of art do you enjoy is a part 1 question.
Yeah. What social problems are there in your country?
Okay, that's a great part 3 question. Okay, so here is how I would answer this. Here's an example. So, what kind of social problems exist in your country? Right now, the biggest social problem, I think, is going to be the support of disabled people. So this is not the example, this is the direct answer. The question is asking me specifically for like the biggest problems. I'm going to focus on one specific problem. And whenever I mention that, that's not the example, that's the direct answer. So I'm going to say, I think that the biggest social problem is the support of disabled people. Now I'm going to explain why, right? So this is going to be kind of like a, I don't actually have this here, but basically direct answer. Next, I'm going to explain why. So I'm going to say, I think that disabled people really need support in a lot of ways because they are the most vulnerable group of people. And then I'm going to give an example. I'm going to say why I think, in what situations do they need support? So I'm going to say, one example of how they need support is, for example, buses. A lot of disabled people cannot get onto buses properly without the equipment needed to get their wheelchairs up to the floor of the bus. And I think that in general, that could be a reason why disabled people and their support is one of the biggest problems facing society, facing the society and the country where I live, something like that. Basically, each of those sentences had a very specific purpose. I used each of those sentences in a specific way, and I had specific vocabulary at the beginning. And if you look at this right here, this is the 1 second. This is the vocabulary that you would use for each of these types of sentences at the beginning. This is like the sentence or the phrase that you would use at the beginning. So here, for example, frankly, this isn't something I'm used to talking about. This is a good way to start your direct answer if you're actually not sure, if you have to think about it. That's a good question. Wow, let me think about that. So all of these are really good vocab words. I'd recommend you to learn all these. They're juicy, spicy. These are signposting words. This means they are words that show you like, they show you what the sentence is about. Yeah. Awesome. So that's it for this part of the thing. These structures are for part 3. I'd recommend you to learn them. Just kind of think about them. In general, another structure that I actually have not written down here is direct answer, explain why, example, opposing view. And also remember, at any point during part 3, you can give a personal example. They're not saying you only have to talk about general things. But remember, during part 3, you are focusing on general. 100% you have to remember that. Because if you start talking about personal things, the examiner is going to say, sir, what about in your country? What about in the world? They will ask you to make it more general because part 3 is general. Yeah, I just remembered I had my speaking test like 4 days ago. I'm so stressed. I have to get a 9. Okay, sorry. Yes, so that's it. Thank you very much, star person with Michael Jordan background. Have a great day. Okay, so yes, let's get to the next part of today. Okay, I'm going to do a couple sample questions on the topic of business. So let's do this. If you guys can think about, right now, think about some part 1 and part 3 questions that are on the topic of business. Think about them, find them, and then I'm going to be answering your questions specifically. So if you have those questions, you can raise your hand. Part 1 or part 3, topic business. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to find your questions, think about them. Let's start with this. Farida, if you have a question, please raise your hand. I'm sorry, I have unmuted you. Please say hi.
How are you?
I am doing great. Happy to see you. So do you have your part 1 or part 3 question?
Yeah, I have a part 3 question for you. And the question is, what do young people prefer? What jobs?
Okay. Yeah. I think that young people have the very specific distinguishing marker of preferring jobs that have an online presence. I think that in order to make a profit, it's very important to fill your own niche. And young people do that very well because they can see all of the niches using the internet. Back in the old days, you wouldn't be able to find all these different kinds of niches and all these specific needs in the market because there was no internet. It was very difficult to examine and to see all of these different products that need to be launched, right? And so I think that young people, they like to run their own businesses and they like to fill all of these niche businesses by having online presences. They like to sell things. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of young people like to sell things. And a lot of different kinds of services that I think young people are very good at giving are also quite popular. Thank you for your question, Farida. Thank you. Let's move on to the next person. If you have a part 1 or a part 3 question, please raise your hand right now. Let's see. Adham Kariyev. Sir, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi.
Do you have a part 1 or part 3 question?
Part 3 question.
Ask ahead.
Why do some people are afraid of starting business even though they have a lot of money?
I think that in order to be sure about whatever business you're trying to start, the first step is to have a good plan and also to do market research. It's very important to make sure that you know exactly what's happening and that there's no cutthroat competition in the market that you're trying to enter. And also you should keep in mind, who are you actually going to enter business with? I think all these things would make somebody more confident in whatever decision they're trying to make. And so basically what I'm trying to say is, I think people that are not confident in starting a business, they didn't take these steps. They didn't make sure they know what they're doing. They didn't draw up a good business plan. They just thought they want a business, even though they didn't do the work required to start a business. I think those are the main reasons. Thank you for your question. All right. So now somebody who has a part 1 question, please raise your hand, specifically part 1 about business. Okay. So, all right, Zarina Samedinova, please tell me you have a part 1 question on the topic of business.
Okay, I have a part 3 question about what kinds of family businesses are common in your country.
Part 1. Part 1. Part 1.
No,
Part 1. What do you mean no? I said I want a part 1. Zarina, did you not listen to me? Part 1.
Okay.
Do you have a part 1? Okay, I don't think you have a part 1. Okay, let me ask someone else. Muhammad Ali, I think you have a part 1 question, please. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, Muhammad Ali, if you have a part 1 question.
Yeah, all right. First of all, what's up, bro?
What's up? I'm doing great. Happy to see you as always, Muhammad Ali. What is your part 1 question?
Okay. What kind of small business do you like to open? Or would you like to open?
That's a great part 1 question. I would say that I want to open a business that will be connected with some kind of product. I want to launch a product that will really make people interested. And I'm not entirely sure what kind of product it will be. I know that I really like different kinds of art projects. And so I think maybe I can make some kind of application for art like Photoshop, which can be better than Photoshop. I feel like that would make a very big profit. And yeah, I would be very interested in opening some kind of maybe media department for my application. And I would have a very, very powerful online presence in order to advertise my product. So that's a kind of business that I would like to open. Thank you for your question. Awesome.
Okay.
So
Alex,
what's up?
Sorry. I have one question related to vocabulary. Can I ask?
What's up? Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Look, in Uzbekistan, the one small business is going really viral right now. You know, some sort of masters make windshields of cars black. I mean, the windows of cars black. What is it called in English? I don't really know the exact word for that.
I actually have a cool story about this. I was in a
Because
taxi
it
on
is
my way
being
to the
so
mountains.
successful. It's being so successful right now.
Yes, I was in a taxi on my way to the mountains around like 4 weeks ago, like a month ago, basically. I was in a taxi on my way to the mountains, and our taxi driver got stopped because he had like black windows, like tinted windows.
Yeah.
On the front of his car. And so the police stopped him and made him take them off, and then they took him to the police department. It was really funny. So yeah, in general, I'm not sure what the name of the business is, but I know that those kinds of windows are called tinted windows. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I was I was wanting to ask this question since you gave the question about part two. It was part two question about small business. You described small business or something like that, and I had that idea in my mind, and I just wrote it down, and I wanted to answer the question if you asked me, but it didn't happen. So I'm not really mad, but I've been wanting to know the word. Thank you.
Yeah,
Tinted
awesome.
glass,
Thank you so
said.
much.
Tinted
Tinted,
glass?
yes, tinted. Yeah,
Tint-
yeah, yeah.
tinted.
So yeah, have a great day. Thank you so much, Muhammad Ali. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much. That's it. Have a great day. All right, let's move on to the next part of the lesson. So yeah, that's it for the vocab. That's it for the answers. Yeah. Anyway, somebody did ask me in the chat, specifically Gulshahad Rahmatullah, you asked me, why. Sorry, are we going to have to do homework for both of the lessons? No, the homework for this lesson you do not have to do. It's completely fine. If you want to learn the vocab, you can. I would recommend you to learn the vocab, but you don't have to send any of the materials. So yeah, that's it for this this part of the lesson. Now let me ask you guys the feedback for lesson lesson 13. Give me a moment. So today we have 26th of August. Okay, Farangiz, please raise your hand if you can hear me. Farangiz. Okay. I don't think, yeah, you have not gotten, okay, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, would you, have I talked to you before?
No.
It
Not
feels
yet.
like I have for some reason. Not yet. Okay, cool. So, would you like a part 1 or part 3 question?
Part one.
Okay. Here's your question. Do you work or are you a student?
Actually, I'm working at learning center at the moment as an English teacher, and because this year I graduated the Uzbek Servoling University, so at the moment I'm a worker.
Okay, perfect. That was a perfect part 1 answer. Really nice. 2 things: graduated pronunciation, and number 2 is that's this year I am a worker. That's a bit strange, like structure. I wouldn't use that personally. I think it'd be better to say something along the lines of, that's why this year I am also working, or that's why this year I am focused on working. That sounds much better than saying I am a worker. It just sounds strange. So yeah, otherwise, great job. Really nice part 1 answer. For part 3, I assume you'd have to work a bit more on your academic vocab, but otherwise you're doing good. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Farouk. Farouk, please raise your hand if your name is Farouk. Farouk. Okay. I don't think he's here. I think he's sleeping. My man is asleep. I can't believe it. Okay. The next person is going to be Shahriyor Husinov. Shahriyor Husinov, please raise your hand. Yeah. Hi. Please say hi if you can hear me. Unmute yourself, please. You are muted, sir. Please unmute yourself. Sir? Okay, we'll get back to you. Just whenever you're ready, unmute yourself after I go to the next person. Kamola Omonova, I saw you in the chat. Please raise your hand so I know that you can hear me. Kamola Omonova. Kamola Omonova. Okay. Next person is also going to be Muhaya. Muhaya? Muhaya. Is today like the day of sleep? Is everybody sleeping today? What is this? What is this? Zarshed Ganiev. Please raise your hand. Yeah! Dude, you like, how? Oh my God. Before I even said your name, you were already there. Hi. Please say hi so I know that you can hear me. Unmute yourself. Zarshed Ganiev.
Hi.
Yo, would you like a part 1 or a part 3 question?
Let's do part 3.
Perfect. Here is your question. Why do some people decide to set up their own businesses?
Obviously, there are a couple of reasons for people why they want to be self-employed. The first reason could be that they want. I think they don't like being told what to do, and that's why I think they. That's why I think they start their own business. The second motive could be they want to earn a living for their future. I think they want to earn more money, I think, and starting their own business could do this for them.
Okay, great. First of all, I love the structure of your answer. Very good job with discourse markers. Like right away. Oh, by the way, Kamala Omonova, you're going to be next. Please just hold on. Don't leave. Kamala Omonova, you're next. Yeah, first of all, great. There are several reasons. Juicy. They don't like being told what to do. The structure, amazing structure. What? That was great. Earn a living, pronunciation. Own, pronunciation. And early pronunciation. Some pronunciation mistakes. Number 1, number 2. You need to work on the word First of all, the pronunciation, the way you say the word sounds a bit strange. I think you're saying it a bit more from the guts. You're saying like that. Like it sounds weird, number 1. And number 2, I would recommend to use something other than For example, you can use the word well. You can use the word like, or some kind of word rather than just the word You use it a little bit too much, a little bit too many problems with your fluency, but in general, your grammar and your vocab, like the motive, goddamn boy, awesome, great job, thank you so much, Zarshed Ganiev. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Let's move on to the next person. Kamala Omonova, if you can hear me, please raise your hand. Okay, sorry. Kamala Omonova, wait 1 second. Shahriar was actually waiting, so he's going to go first and then you, okay? Okay. So Shahriar, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi.
Yo, would you like a part 1 or part 3?
Part 3.
Okay. Here's your question. What are some of the dangers involved in starting a business?
I think I have a problem with the internet connection. Wait a second.
No worries.
Repeat, please, again.
Yes, here's your question. What are some of the things you have to do? Sorry. What are some of the dangers involved in starting a business?
No idea. Maybe
would you like to receive your feedback tomorrow?
Okay, yes, some kind of internet problems.
Okay, no problem. I will put your name for the next lesson. Thank you. Okay, so Kamola Omonala, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so would you like a part 1 or part 3?
Part 3 is better.
Awesome. Here's your question. Here, the same question. What are some of the dangers involved in starting a business?
Well, you know that most people are afraid of the what to say that drawbacks of just doing business, because they think that like doing business is not that kind of, let's say, easy, or they think that their business might go wrong one day, or let's say they may run out of money and they may think about how to compensate the money they just got from the bank or somewhere. I think so.
Okay, that was great. I really liked that, but there are a couple problems. The first problem is the ending, I think so, sounds kind of strange. Like, I think so is used in different situations. I think a better ending would be, that's kind of what I think. So that's what I say a lot myself. That is kind of what I think. It's more natural, I guess. Another thing is, work on your pronunciation of the word think. You say sink, that's wrong. But everything else is actually great. Your pronunciation and your intonation are actually amazing as a whole. Like, both of them sounds very natural, sounds very good. So great job with that. Work on the word think. Yeah. And also, yeah, I'm not finished, Kamola. Next is, you know that. That's a great way to start, of course, in general, yeah. But one more mistake is what to say. So instead of what to say, you should have some kind of other word whenever you're thinking. Like, for example, well. So just well, and then the word pause, or and then pausing. Those are also like pretty much fine. What to say is not a good way to like give yourself time. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Let's move on to the next person, which is going to be the next person. Beep 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 boop beep beep pop. Okay. This. And, yeah, is that fine? Okay, next person is going to be, okay, Muhayo, if you're here, please raise your hand. I don't think she's here. She's not here. Okay, Asliddin Begim Kulov. Okay, he's not here. Murodullah Turdiev. Hello. If you can hear me, please say hi.
Hello, good evening.
Awesome. Wait, give me 1 second. I was giving... Oh, Shahriar Husinov. Yeah, let me put him on the next lesson. Okay, so would you like a part 1 or part 3?
Let's go for part 3.
Okay. One moment. Okay. So here's your question. What are some of the things you have to do when running your own business that not everybody is going to like?
And the first thing that I need to do before, just while running the business, is just being ready to take risks, because just running a business is not easy thing, and I need to be ready to take risks when it's needed for me. And also the other thing is to do market research, because like without research, it's really difficult to just grow the company. So, and yeah, I think that these are the main reasons that I need to do if I run the company and to make it more successful.
That was an amazing answer. I liked every single part of that answer, except you actually didn't understand the question completely. The question was something that you have to do when running your own business that not everybody will like. So, for example, you should have said something like, yeah, so you should have said like, you have to do market research, but I don't think everybody wants to do that because you have to do a lot of work. Something like that. So I feel like you have great fluency, great vocab. Everything is really nice. Especially this is part 3. That was a great answer for part 3. Except you should have actually answered the question. That's number 1. Number 2, is maybe add a little bit more different kinds of ideas, like think outside of the box. So the question is like asking you, what is something you have to do when running a business, and talk about like maybe the results of that. So like if you don't do market research, then your business was going to fail because the products that you sell are going to have no impact. For example, like, so basically, try to kind of work with that and try to understand that you should go deeper, right? That's it. Yeah. Awesome. Great job though.
Okay.
The answer was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day. All right, let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Sevara Ergashova. Please raise your hand if you can hear me. Sevara Ergashova. I don't think she's here. Let's move on to the next person. The next person is going to be Farangiz from Karshi. Is that your name? Farangiz is the name. From Karshi is the surname. Okay. Farangiz from Karshi, please raise your hand if you can hear me. Farangiz from Karshi. Okay, I don't think she's here, so... Okay. Once again, let me ask the people that have been here before, but they weren't here. Sevara Ergashova, Muhayo, Farouk, Dior Asrarov, and Roland John. If you are here, please raise your hand. Okay. It looks like they are not here. So that is it for today's lesson. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great day. That is the end of the first lesson. Please don't leave the video chat. We're staying here. We have another lesson to do. So wait, don't leave. Okay. So that is the end of the recording. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Stop recording.